Hi, everybody. I'm back. Crafting Journey, Rebecca. This is Crafting and Crime Daily, and I've got a new trial to start. Yay! I don't know what to do with myself when there are no trials to cover. So, the trial of the Las Vegas politician actually starts tomorrow, Wednesday, the 14th of August. But today, after jury selection yesterday, also the trial of Susan Lorencz out of Ocala, Florida started. Now, I have given you a little synopsis of both of those trials to let you know what they're about. Susan Lorencz is the get off my lawn lady. This is all about a Karen that lived in an Ocala apartment building. Her name was Susan, but she's a Karen. Stay tuned. So, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been off for a few days because there's been no trials, and I've been just crafting my little heart out, diamond painting, crocheting, you name it. I've been trying to catch up with everything. So, opening statements occurred this morning in the Susan Lorencz case. Now, I'm writing in pencil now because my pens all ran out of ink. So let's go back to the beginning. This is out of Ocala, Florida. It happened in June 7th of 2021. So we're into the thick of the COVID going on now. Everybody's at home and everybody's driving everybody crazy, especially the kids. They are annoying this Susan Lorencz. Get off my lawn. Literally, that's what this case is about. They were on her lawn. In any case, this is in front of Justice Robert Hodges, and if you're inclined to watch it, I will warn you. I like him. I think so far, you know, from what I've seen, good judge, knows his stuff, but not exactly easy on the eyes. He looks like he was disfigured in a fire, maybe. I'm not sure, but something unfortunate happened to him. And in any case, he is the judge in this case. She is on trial, Susan Lorencz, for manslaughter with use of a firearm, by the use of a firearm. So, opening statements. This kid gets up. I'm like, he looks like he's 12. These are the lawyers. They're so young. Oh my God. They're so young. I'm I'm dating myself. I really am dating myself. I'm shy. Well, I am sweet, lovable, kind, shy, and innocent. Really? Oh, for heaven's sake, stop laughing. Stop laughing. Okay. Um, so this young guy gets up there. First of all, no microphone, can't hear. So I turn the volume all the way up, and I have to get my headphones, which is why my hair, it looks like a pancake. I've been wearing the headphones today so I could hear what he was saying. So this case is all about a bullet that was shot through a front door, killing an unarmed neighbor. Now that neighbor was Ajike Owens. It's spelled Ajike. Ajike. I think that everybody says it different, so I'm just going to say Ajike or AJ. AJ is easier for me. Ajike Owens. So these kids on June 7th, they're out playing in this field that is between these two apartment buildings. This is an apartment building area named Quail Run. Now, each unit is a set of 4 units, but they're not all owned by the same people, which is kind of strange, but this is how it is. So, Ajike Owens lived across the street from the field, but the field was next to Susan Lorentz's apartment that she was living in, her patio. So the children are out there playing. They're not unsupervised. There's a parent out there with them, and he's playing with them. And the prosecutor talks about how in the past, Ajike and Susan have had many arguments where 911 has been called. But on this summer night, they were out there playing. The kids are out there playing. And the defendant is videotaping a pair of roller skates that are on her property. And then she picks up the roller skates and she throws them. Okay. So there's a 911 call that is made. So what happens is the kids, there's some discourse that goes between the kids and Susan. I haven't yet heard what that is. I haven't heard any witnesses testify about what occurred between those children and her that day, to have them go home to mom, because apparently one of them did say to Susan, I'm going to go get my mom. And she said, I don't care. Go get her. And Susan goes back into her house, and a few minutes later, here comes AJ. She's going to protect her kids. She was 24. Susan was 59. And I think AJ was probably had about 80 pounds on Susan. She was larger than Susan. So Susan goes into her house, shuts the door, and calls 911. And I guess AJ follows her and starts pounding on the door. Now, Susan has already called 911. They're on their way. So Susan, AJ wasn't banging on the door yet. After she calls the 911, she goes to use the bathroom and washes her hands, and then the banging on the door starts. And so she goes to her bedroom and gets her gun, because apparently this door was not secure. It had been broken. The landlord had tried to fix it, but was not successful. And I'm combining opening arguments. I'm combining the defense argument with the prosecution's argument. Obviously, the defense says the door was not fixed. The prosecution says the door was fixed. Anyway, the defense says the door was not fixed. In fact, at night, Susan Lorencz would have to use a chair propped up against that door to feel secure in that home. So she fires one shot through the middle of that door. It hits AJ. AJ goes off running, screaming, call 911 to the kids who are all, gathered around watching all of this. And she collapses near a tree that's on the property of Susan Lorencz. Well, it's in this field. There's a tree in the field. So the defendant said she was scared. She was scared. She said that AJ had said, I'm going to kill you. Then, after she fires the weapon, she calls back 911. Susan does. And here is that 911 call.
Now. It's in my bedroom. I didn't know what the door is panicking. Okay, repeat that. Oh my God, this lady just tried to break down my door. I shot through the door. Oh my God. Okay, repeat that address for me to make sure I have it correct. 1662 Southwest 107. Okay, what is your name? Okay, take a deep breath for me. Calm down. Oh my God. You said someone tried to break down your door, is that correct? Yes, the woman was screaming and yelling and she was trying to break down my door and she was... Okay, it was a female? Yes. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed my gun and I shot at the door. And I thought she was going to kill me. Oh my God. Okay, you said you shot at the door, is that correct? Yes, I shot at the door because she wouldn't stop. I told her to get away and she wouldn't. She just begged to stay. Okay, where's your gun now? It's in my bedroom. I didn't know what the door is panicking. This is the woman who attacked me. Okay, so you still see the subject? I don't know where she is. I'm still in my house. I didn't open my door to her. Is it just only you in the home? Yes, it's just me. Okay, I just need you to lock all your doors and windows, okay? I have. Okay, I'm going to stay on the line until the deputies get there. Okay. They were going to come and kill me. And did you know her? Yes, she's come after me several times because of her children. Her children keep trespassing over here. They're bothering me. They won't fucking stop. Is she a neighbor? Yes. Do you know where she lives? She lives at 1663 Southwest 107th Lane. 1663 Southwest 107th Lane, is that correct? Yes. Okay. Do you know her name? Ajike Owens. I'm sorry, what was the first name? Ajike, A-J-I-K-E. Okay. Just let me know when you see the deputies. And like you said your gun is put up in the bedroom. Yes, is that correct? Okay. Yes. Okay. Jesus Christ. And what unit number is for the subject? I don't know. I don't know if she's one or two. Okay. She has an old broken down Honda or something, a white car in front of her house. It's all garbage. You said a white Honda? Yes. And then she has a new Acura. Okay. You're doing good. Just take a deep breath for me. You do have deputies on the way, okay? Okay. And do you see the male subject, or you just see the female? See, her boys were here earlier. They keep leaving their garbage all around the house. Okay. And then I told them to take the crap away, get the fuck out of here. Do you know where the boyfriend is now? I'm sorry? Do you know where the boyfriend is now? No. Okay. I'm not screaming outside now.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna agree with you. Yes, she's very upset on this 911 call, but I think she's more upset that it happened. Like for me, if I have to fire a gun through a door at someone, even if I'm justified, I'm gonna be a little upset about it because I just fired at somebody. But I don't hear any fear in this call. I hear that she's anxious that she just did this. But in any case, you can hear her telling the dispatcher that the kids were trespassing, they were leaving their toys, they were mouthing off. And that this woman was pounding on her door and threatening to kill her. So she felt like this was the only thing. She felt she was trapped. This was her only way out of this apartment, even though there was a sliding glass door there. I don't know why she couldn't go out the sliding glass door, or why she could. She knew that 911 was on the way because she had just called them 2.5 minutes earlier. There were 2.5 minutes between her first phone call, and they didn't play the first phone call. 2.5 minutes between the first phone call to 911 about these kids and this altercation with the mom, and gives her time to go wash her hands, get the gun, fire it. 2.5 minutes later, she can't wait for the police. She knows they're on the way. This would be my argument. Anyway, girlfriend, the police are coming. What? She's not going to break down your door and kill you in 2.5 minutes. Okay. So the defense says this is a 59-year-old woman living alone, not your normal 59-year-old woman. This woman is very infirm. She's got bad knees. She's got a bad back. And I'm thinking, honey, welcome to getting old. We all got bad knees and a bad back. Jeez, that's no excuse to be a Karen. Anyway, she felt she was in mortal danger. And he's asking the jury to keep an open mind and think of things from her perspective as opposed to all the other perspectives that we're going to hear from the witnesses. So he talks about his client, that Susan, was born in New Jersey, July 23rd, 1960. And in 1995, she moved to Spring Hill, Florida. Now, he talks about all these jobs that she had. And she was a EMT. She was a waitress. She was a chef. She was an insurance agent. Yeah. And so she was a chef. She moved to Spring Hill to take care of her mom. So her mom passes away. After her mom passes away, she moves up to Gainesville because she liked horses. And if you want to move to seriously, if you ever want to move to Florida, Ocala is gorgeous. I have tried cases in this very courthouse that they're in, and the only thing I remember about this courthouse is that I had to walk to it in my heels along the brick. And I hated it. Oh my God, this brick was impossible to walk on. Any case, so she moves to Gainesville because she likes horses after her mom passed away. So she's up there. She's living all by herself. She's got all these ailments. She's working as a chef until COVID comes along. Then she loses her job, and then she gets her license, starts selling insurance from home. But at the time of this incident, she was getting ready to start another new job. So my thought when I heard all this is, why can't she keep a job? Why is she going from job to job to job to job to job, even one that you work from home doing, selling insurance? Did you not get along with these people, Karen? I'm just surmising. Okay. She's got bad knees, bad back, et cetera, a survivor of ovarian cancer, and she had placed no trespassing signs all over the lawn. And that AJ, the victim, Owens, the kid's mother, would walk her dog and let her dog poop on her lawn. And she told her not to do that. And the woman said, well, that's where my dog wants to defecate, and I'm not picking it up. Okay. Now that's an issue. That is a real issue. And I could be a Karen about that too. But I wouldn't kill anybody over it anyway. So just 6 months prior to this, apparently AJ had gotten upset with Susan over something with the kids, and was the one that actually damaged the door. Caused the door to be damaged. The landlord had attempted to fix it. It was not repaired properly, and this is why she would put a chair up against it at night. And then her attorney said that we were going to hear from a behavioral psychologist during this testimony that was going to testify about how individuals make certain decisions. That should be insightful, I'm sure. Okay, so witness number one, after the opening statements. Between the openings and when they actually started, they didn't do anything to fix the volume, so I'm still listening by headphones. But it was made clear that there would be a juvenile on the stands and that they weren't going to show him on film. So the first person on the stand is this gentleman named Franklin Colon. Good looking guy. Yeah. Former Army man, former Border Patrol guy, now doing small house constructing small homes, probably flipping houses, something like that. I don't know. But in any case, he lives in Quail Run, and they showed him a picture of like an aerial shot of it shows in this picture you can see AJ's home across the street from Susan's home. And then next to Susan's home on the same side of the street as Susan is this man's apartment complex. He's the one that explained that there's 4 apartments each. And but in this picture, you'll see like a little red dot. That's where his home is. But the other ones are labeled. I'll leave the picture up there for a little while so you can tell. But the one with the red dot is where he lives. The other, you can see where the other 2 people live, Susan and Ajike. And next, in between the property where this man lives and the property where Susan lives is this open field. So he says he has a son who is now 13 years old. He was 11 at the time. And he would play with his son and the neighbor children. Ajike had 2 children that were right around the same age as his son, and he would go out into this open field. And he said, I was like a kid. I would just play with them. But he says, I would, on this particular day, June 7th, he says, I had them divided up into teams, and I would call a number, and they would, I don't know what the game was, but anyway, he's playing with them. And he says sometimes there were 8, 10, 12, 15 kids. He's, just depended on what we were doing. We play volleyball. Sometimes we would jump rope. But this particular day, he's out there in the middle of this field, and he's got them divided up into teams, and he's playing with them. And he was asked, were they allowed? He goes, of course they were allowed. They're kids. They were allowed. He said he did see the no trespassing sign. He saw it. So at some point he did say he had interacted a few times with Ajike Owens, but he wasn't like good friends with any of them. He just knew who they were. So she did come out a few times to complain that the kids were being too loud. So he said there's going to be an issue about a tablet that's owned by the younger child of AJ, named Israel. So apparently that day Izzy had an iPad with him, or a phone, or an iPad. We don't know. And when this witness is out in the middle of this field, directing this game, Izzy comes up to him and says, can you hold my iPad? And he says, no, I can't. I'm not responsible for your things. You're responsible for your own stuff. So Izzy just sets it down right there with him. He just sets it on the ground and walks away. So he says he went back to his game, directing the kids. He eventually gets tired. He's like, I don't have the energy those kids have. So he goes back home, and he's doing what we all do on our phones, scrolling Facebook, reading our mail, stuff you do on your phone nonstop nowadays, checking Instagram for all the funny memes. When his son comes running in, and let me see how he said it. First, he hears a loud bang. And then his son comes running in. He said he could barely talk. He says, what's going on? He says, she got shot. And then he says, she shot her. She got shot. She shot her. So he goes outside. Now his law enforcement training is kicking in. He says, I run towards the sound. So he's running towards the sound, and he sees Ajike on the ground. He's keeping an eye on Susan's apartment because he says, I'm trying to be aware of my surroundings. But he went to assist her until EMT came. He said the first thing he did was scan her for open wounds, and then he starts to, give her aid. But very shortly after that, EMT gets there and he backs off, and that was his involvement. So the next person on the stand is a property appraiser, and they put up photos of the two adjacent properties, the one that this witness I just talked about lived in, and the one that Susan lived in. And there's a red circle around both of these properties. And he says anything within those boundaries, anything physical within those boundaries, like sidewalks, porches, residence, that's the property, that's part of the property of this person. And you can see that this field some of it belongs on Susan's property. The majority of it is on property of this apartment building where this last witness works at, in this field. The majority of that field was with that other property. And that's the only reason he came on the stand, to show that. So I'll show you these two pictures with, the first one's AJ's, and you can see he's got pretty much anywhere from a half to more than half of the property. And then the apartment building, and they had separate owners. The apartment building where Susan lived had a little sliver of that property, maybe the portion where the tree is of that property. Both of them are renters. They're not the property owners, neither the witness nor Susan. Okay. Next person on the stand is Uriel Rodriguez. He's 13 years old. Now, he is the son of the first person we heard from, this man that lives next door, adjacent on the other side of the field. He said, we were playing in the field next to Dad's house. I don't think he lives with his dad anymore. At the time, he was living with his dad. He said at some point he stopped because he wanted to go play basketball. I guess Dad by then had gone in the house playing on his phone. So this kid stops, and the basketball court was in the street, kind of. So everything was still visible to these kids that were playing basketball. They could see Susan's house. They see AJ's house because it's across the street. Ajike's house. So Ajike, they all see Ajike, and she is marching over to Susan's house, and she is mad. He said, man, she was mad. She said, she looked mad. He remembers her cursing, and he would not say the curse words. He said she was banging on the door hard and saying, open this door. So he was asked, did she use the F word? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. She partly used the B word, too. So, but he never heard Ajike say that she was going to kill Susan. He never heard that. So he hears a gunshot, and he sees Ajike run away from the door, collapse by the tree, and say, call 911. And that's first thing he does is run back to Mom. So he runs home to Mom, or to Dad. He runs home to Dad. So on cross-examination, he was asked about some prior statements that he had made. Now, this kid's 13. What does he know about refreshing recollection and all this courtroom drama that goes on? So the judge kind of had to explain to him, he's the guy's going to show you something that you testified to previously. Just read it to yourself. And then if that jogs your memory a little bit, let us know. So then he admitted that Ajike had first gone to the sliding glass door and had banged on the sliding glass door, then gone around to the front door and was banging on the front door. And that he was using the word bitch and she was using the word fuck. The attorney used the words and the kid just agreed with him. Yeah, that's the word she used. So in the past, this 13-year-old had testified that Isaac had told the lady to shut up. Now, he's like 10 years old at this time. And that he had heard Susan say, get out of my house. Get out of my house. Have you guys, come on, you guys have had those people, get off my lawn. We always had a neighbor like that. When I lived in Hollywood, Florida, we had this woman, get off my lawn. Like, my dogs, I would walk my dogs and they would go on her lawn. I wouldn't let them do anything on her lawn. And if they did, I picked it up. She was like, get off my lawn. I'm going to call the cops. And I'd say, honey, I'm married to a cop. Who are you going to call? That frustrated her even more. Anyway, we all have those people. I try not to be like that because why? You know what? It's not worth it. Okay, so next person on the stand, Jareth Gardner. He's 22 years old. Now, I think he's 2 sandwiches short of a picnic, this kid, because I don't know. He was asked, what do you do for a living? You're 22 years old. What do you do for a living? He says, I go to work. As opposed to what? Like, I go to work. Well, then he admitted he works at the Amazon warehouse. And then one point she wanted to refresh his recollection and with something he'd said during a deposition, and she says, would reading the deposition help you refresh your recollection? And he's like, well, yeah, but I don't have it here to read. I didn't bring it. I love kids. They're so honest. I mean, he's 22. He's kind of a kid. Anyway, that he also lived in that area, and he would play with the kids. I mean, he's 22 now. He was 20 back then. He played basketball with them. The sons of Ajike, she had 2 sons, Izzy, and I don't know what the older one's name was. One was like 13, one was maybe 11 or 10, Izzy. So he played basketball with them, play with them in the field, but they were playing basketball this particular day. And he did not see Ajike go outside. He didn't see her go over there towards Susan's house, but he said the boys came up to him while he was playing basketball, and they're like all upset because something was going down. So he starts to walk across the street, and he could hear knocking and a few syllables. I don't know what he meant by syllables, but apparently she knocked. He said there were 3 sets of knocks that he heard. He said she did use the B word. He never heard her say, I'm going to kill you. Never heard her say that. But as he's crossing the street, after the boys notice this and he's hearing this banging, he's crossing the street to head towards that area. Because, this is drama. You got to go see, right? It's drama. I'm going to go see. I'm one of those neighbors. I'm so nosy. So he hears the gunshot. Then he sees Ajike run from the front door of Susan's house and collapse by the tree on the lawn. And he said he felt like an altercation was going to happen. That's why he originally started in that direction. When the boys came up to him, he felt like, oh, there's an altercation that's going to happen. Like drama's going to happen, so we got to go see. Yeah. Okay. Next witness on the stand, Ms. Costa. Ms. Costa. Now this is me. I'm the helpful neighbor. I'm, Susie helpful. Miss Costa shares a wall with Susan, and so she lives in that same building that Susan lives in, just on the other side. And so she said she heard some arguing going on that she said maybe lasted 5-10 minutes before she actually heard the gunshot. She said she could not make out what was being said, but then she heard a door slam. She goes, right after I hear this door slam, my walls start shaking. Cheap drywall. My walls start shaking. She thought Susan was on the other side of the wall banging on the wall. It wasn't Susan. So she said she heard 2 sets of bangs on the wall. And then here's a pop. So her cats, she's one of those childless cat ladies like me. Mm-hmm. So her cats go running in the bedroom under the bed, which is what mine would do as well, right under the bed. So she goes in her bedroom too and calls 911 because she realizes it's a gunshot. So that's it. Ms. Helpful. She's done. What else did she say? So she says she has lived there for many years. And she referred to that. She doesn't live there anymore, but at that time she had lived there for over 15 years. She calls that place the Hood. She said the landlords rent to unsavory people, and there had been prior incidents of shooting in this neighborhood. Now, all that was quickly shut down by the judge. I don't think the jury was supposed to hear that, but we heard it. I heard it. They heard it. So that's where we ended off at lunchtime. So that's what I want to bring you for today. I'll bring you up to date tomorrow on this trial. Like I said, tomorrow, the other trial of Robert Tellis for the reporter's murder, that starts tomorrow afternoon. I don't know if they're going to continue with jury selection or if it's actually going to start like opening statements. But if it does, I'm going to be covering that for you as well. Because, why not? Right? So let me know what you think of this case and leave me a comment. And I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to hit that like button. You can leave a comment. You can leave a super chat. Yeah. One-time donation goes help support the contents of the channel. If not, I'll see you tomorrow in Crafting and Craft Daily.